going to start a tumbler load here and a video. So these are all pieces of quartz crystals, actual terminated quartz crystals that I gathered from the Sierras in California. Some of these we're going to pick out of here and just keep whole like this. This was a scepter tip. I did not get the rest of the scepter, but as you can see, boom, it would have been smoky and then clear. Still beautiful. So these type of things that still have some whole termination to them, we're going to keep. But while I was there, I had already in the past done some tumbling of some of this material, tips that were not whole, like this, let's say, broken tips, which you can find all over the slopes of the mountain that I was at. I was actually above Hallelujah Junction there, and these type of things get tossed aside because there's so many whole and complete tips. But as I was looking at it, I was thinking, wow, this is actually, you know, different smoky quartz and things like this that were a whole deep dark smoky quartz terminated, but it lost its tip. And there's two things you could do. You could recut this on a saw to have a false termination and then buff it all out, or we could put them in tumblers. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and run a load. And when I was up there, I went ahead and gathered material with that in mind. I was like, okay, well, actually that one we're just going to keep to clean up, because that's actually an celestial shape. It's just hidden. So some of these we'll be saving out of here, and obviously there's not enough room to put all of them in here, so I was just going to go with some of the darkest smokies, things like that. We will save to just, we still have to put some of these in vinegar and see how they turn out. All the specimens we'll save. Pieces like that were, that's a weird creature. That's a hole, but it just had bizarre crystal growth patterning to it. So it's like half celestial and half terminated. Things like that I'm going to go ahead and hang on to in the form that they're at. But these other pieces that were just, they're cool and they're beautiful, but I mean, as you see, I have quite the stock of it. We're going to go ahead and run them through the tumbler and see if we can get more windows into their beauty. So put those in there. Ones like this that were terminated. And because you have to switch the loads out per roughness of the grit, we'll have plenty of chances to see how these are developing, and we may pull them out at any point along the journey. And things like that we'll save. Saving all the normal ones. But this is how I'm starting to process this particular haul, which I never fully processed, is decide what we're going to tumble, what we're going to reshape, what we're going to leave and clean up as it is. Mostly just the ones that have absolutely no termination and are broken, but that we know are beautiful, clear crystals in there. See, a lot of these just need to get cleaned up still. That's actually a little mini scepter. This will be a good start to that process. A lot of little scepter creatures in here. There are our broken quartz crystal pieces from Hallelujah Junction, and got dark smokies in here, and we're going to look at all this at the end of the video, of course. I'm just switching loads, cleaning them out, making sure everything's really clean from the last load so that you don't get contaminant from the rougher stuff into your finer stuff and go backwards in your polishing process. But yeah, I think this is a really good thing to do with some messed up old tips. You gotta understand that these sites where everybody's hunting pockets of perfect tips in their tailing piles, there are just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces of what are broken, missing their tip. Smoky quartz, but I mean, you could almost cut that in there, and I think this is a good thing to do. It's gonna make it really beautiful. Look at some of these. Wow, you know. So let's look at the end. A couple more, fast forward, jump through the next few stages, and I'll see you in a second. So, not going to show you these yet. We have to toss these back in. We're going to use some little pieces of terry cloth shredded up and a little bit of soap and put it back in for the night and let those polish themselves up, clean themselves, burnish themselves a little bit. This will clean all the stuff out of the pores, and then we can do the reveal. Skipped a couple of stages as far as showing you putting in the different polishing compounds, but we are almost at the end now, so stay tuned. So here are the quartz crystals out of the tumbler. They've all been burnished up, and we are ready to start the actual show. So sit back and let's look at what we did. I'm already super happy. Remember, the befores on these are just the broken and what would be toss behinds, the lead behinds, the partials, the bases, the matrix of all of the crystals. That's just a base. Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh yeah. So the obvious difference between the after and the before, you can see why I did this. We're turning things like that into things like this. I just see a lot of people high grade them out, but I started looking at them and thinking, man, that's a beautiful piece of raw quartz inside there, no matter how you think about it. So these clear pieces are the ones that you're seeing like this. I mean, it's not even a point, it's a a broken piece of a point or something, and they're turning into these when they're polished up. And now you can see all the planes and all the windows. I mean, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of quartz, and you can see quite a few super clear, but that's what these were, was broken pieces. That's pieces like this. Look at all these that are basically, because they're no longer actual pieces of a crystal point, they're just basically like a rock crystal. But they're such a clear quartz that we're polishing them out, and they're turning into that. I mean, it's just awesome. Look at the different ethereal things going on in there. Definitely now more of a gemstone creature. These are the actual crystal spears to some of these. So some of these would look like this one, and they're a little celestial, or their surface is, or whatever you want to call it, just a rough surface. So polished up though, and look at what we have. And that has a nice feel to it. See, we had some little smokies that came through, but again, they would have started something like that, probably a little bit darker. You can see we have a bunch here that we still need to tumble up that have darkness to them. There's another one. So look at these pieces, you know. Ugh. You could also, you know, put these on a flat lap or anything else and polish them back into a sharp shape. We're just going with the tumbling. Look what you end up with. Look what you end up with. So I think this might be helping me make my decision. It's always hard to figure out what we're going to do next. But I think I'm going to put a bunch more of these into the tumbler now that I see how they turn out. It's at least a good start too. You can also craft them into other things from here, but look inside some of these, it's just at all those different things that you would be missing if you didn't have the clarity to be, able to look down inside there. Ones like this that were already kind of shaped into three sides, I think, and then a flat back. I just think have an awesome gemmy shape already now. flat ones come out really cool. It's like a medallion, perfect gemstone ready to be worn and wrapped. But yeah, so that's the results of that tumbling load. I think that we're going to start a whole bunch more. Yeah, so there are the results of that tumbler load. I've had a good look at them, and I think that definitely next time that I'm in a crystal field, I'm going to pick up even more of the tailings that everybody's tossing down, and we're going to go ahead and run these through in the upcoming tumbler batch. Maybe fill up all 4 barrels with that and keep processing because yeah, gemstones. That's fun. Those are fun. So thank you for joining me on another quest for details. We're questing the details of these quartz crystals, and we can definitely see them better now. Wow, that one is so bright. And if you liked it, don't forget to give it a little thumbs up. That always lets other people in the algorithm know that it's a video that's enjoyable, that you liked, and I appreciate it. And you can subscribe if you want. It's free. Other than that, take care of yourself and take care of each other if you get the chance. And I'll see you hopefully on the next quest for details.